Okay, thank you for coming. This is our first training in the year. Good to see you again. Thank you very much for coming, and wishing you the best for the year, right? Okay, so let me just give you the insight. The idea is just since this first training, we're just gonna have a simple introduction, but with important information for you to begin with the idea, the technology of Business Central, and well, the introduction, how it is built, optimized, and the application for different companies have outgrown their entry-level business applications, basically. Well, so this is why Business Central exists, right? And then this is cloud-based, okay? A common database that you will have is not a problem, supporting multiple business domains if needed, integrated and modular functionalities that we're gonna, well, understand this idea. And of course, well, real-time data. So for us then, the technology is of course having a to access Business Central, we're gonna have then this URL. The URL give you access to a whole world of functionality. Especially what I mean with that is not specifically that we are just going to be working like in an AV. Normally, we just use an ERP that is installed in a server typically. But now we actually connect with other functions like Office 365. Very good to have Teams if you have use this with, well, this is a communication tool for your personal, your company. And guess what? We are going to be able to share Business Central information while we chat or having a meeting. Let's present a report here and there or an item or whatever. Power BI connector automatically already, you just plug and play. And well, basically that's the idea, right? We are going to have this new, so to speak, technology that as well help us to then reach our goals easier. Let me just show you the marketplace. So you can see whenever you need different extensions. We call it now that way. Somebody came into Business Central in the cloud and thought, okay, let's just make our vendors, a lot of different vendors that work around the world with Microsoft. So let's say that they have integrated already their applications, reporting tools, handhelds. Let's take a look at one that is quite popular. Jet Reports is here. This is for reporting processes. So automated reports that you can extract from Business Central, and then you depict your information through Excel. Another one that is super popular nowadays is Shopify connector, right? With this one, well, just basically can create your Shopify store to sell, well, specific items if needed, right? Of course, you're now online and with the specific request to only continue shipping. Well, this is so good, but so popular now that, well, it has, well, increased functionality as well. And all of them make all these updates. Warehouse Insight, quite popular as well. We strongly recommend this one. And this is for handhelds, handheld and operations, additional modular functionalities for distribution. So we can then consider these are then the extensions, right? That we just plug and play and immediately they work within the ERP and well, it depends on the functionality that you're looking for, but you can go to the marketplace, find it. So that's the idea, right? That's the idea of how then this is working. How do we, of course, well, coming from NAV, we have as well the different designs that we call now role center, okay, which are just basically the profiles that you will always find. For instance, an accountant. Let's take a look. And we have warehouse processes, what else? Business manager, different interesting screens, right? That will help us to work on a daily basis. We have more than 50, and even the providers or the vendors that I showed you have created their own. So we show now the KPIs, specific reports, right? And all of this is, well, changing from NAV. We are learning. NAV was our predecessor, right? It's basically the same functionality that you will find there. If you come from that world, well, you're going to find exactly that functionality here, plus the advantage of the new technology. I was speaking about little bit about the role centered. For instance, for the accountant, well, has all the operations related to their activities they do. Let's take a look at the currencies, or well, the chart of accounts. Just to give you an example, okay? These guys as well do fixed assets. These guys as well look for the history of posted documents always. So here they have created one menu only for them and other interesting applications, right? Let's just take a look. So we have KPIs. This is calculated now taking information from our own pages. So, hey, I have some payments to complete. 58, okay, yes, that's a lot. That's a lot for me. Approvals. So this is connecting now as well to the approval workflow that we have, same as NAV, plus another additions, of course, like the approval workflow will help you now to send emails directly. Now you have addition to add more filters like let's take an approval workflow and let's say only this PO because it's carrying one single item that I need to consider these items or group of items. I have an approver for those only, right? As well, we have OCR technology. This is incoming documents. OCR technology because you want to scan sometimes some documents, let's say payments or invoices, and you want the system to tell you, right, to which vendor a payment belongs or to which a purchase order, an invoice you scan belongs to immediately it creates that information in the system for you just by scanning a document. And here, well, other ideas that were created like my accounts or my vendors. So these accounts are very important for me to always take a look at the checking accounts, my liquid assets, basically, as you can see here. But you can edit, right? Manage the list, right? And consider to add more accounts when needed. Interesting, right? So you can design your own screens, okay? So you can, let me just add one account for accrued, prepaid, one of my bags will be good, okay? And here immediately we're gonna see our balance. So from here, instead of going to the chart of accounts by opening a menu like here, go to finance chart of accounts, and we'll just immediately make this list here and the same for vendors. Talking about finding information, now you are going to be able to have like this searching functionality. I was talking about chart of accounts, okay? So let's say that I would like to now review information related to a report where I'm gonna, or customers, let's say a keyword, a simple search, okay? Just to begin, because we are learning. And then what it does is that it's going to give me access directly into their ERP in what we call pages, okay? These pages are basically windows where I could take a look at information. Okay, I have customers, Shopify customers. So you can see now that because I have installed my Shopify store, now we have two different windows, two different entities, okay, customers and Shopify customers. Interesting to see this. Now you can, with your keyword, look at the different reports that could exist among the ERP. So if you are thinking about taking a look at, hey, I would like to see a customer, but I'm not really sure what type of report. Let's just take a look at what do I want. Let's search for that, and Business Central is going to give you information about, hey, open customer entries. While I haven't paid yet, will be here in this report as an example. Okay, so very good. So we can then take a look. Business Central is going to give us what we are looking for in regards of the menus where that you want to then open, and the reports that, well, you will be looking and then analyzing. Well, another one will be documentations. Documentations will help us if you have, well, in your company, specific documents, instructions, manuals that we can then share with OneDrive or SharePoint. Actually, I have this way my operations, right? So the idea is that if I have a manual to create customers, it could be presented here. So this is searching. So it's going to take a look at whatever you have inside Business Central. Let's take a look here. Microsoft application sources. So I have a lot of apps. So I can take a look at what other vendors have done already. A customer birthday alert. I don't know what specifically what it will be doing, but you could take a look immediately by, okay, open that from your search. And this is going to be a new application that you might be using. So take a look at it so you can plug it. Okay. So this function helps us to take a look at documents, applications, reports, and of course the menus that you might be looking for. Okay. What other characteristic would be good to present in our main screen? Of course, charts. Okay, so I have my finance performance, income and expenses, and business performance. I have a cash flow analysis. Good to go. Good to understand this part, but this is not exactly the good part of it. But we have one tool that we call financial reports. Let me show you, because you want to create your own reports, right? You want to work. This is coming from NAV. This previously was called account schedules. So look at this data for income and expense chart. Okay, data for cash flow, data for cash cycle. This is a tool that previously is a menu that represents different reports that I have created, but some of them is going to, well, NAV is going to help me to depict them through a different chart so you can analyze that. So cool. The other one is a cash flow forecast. This is connected through Cortana. Okay, Cortana is analyzing this for me. I haven't yet connected that, but we have it, and this will predict. So we are in January, in February, in March, and any other month that you would, let's take an analysis just by month. And let me see if I can recalculate with the current data that it has, what it would create, just to verify. But in the future, I have transactions, sales operations, purchases to be paid in the future, taxes to pay, right? All of that is basically the cash flow. Cortana is not only analyzing that for me, right? To understand my cash flow analysis on a monthly basis. This is how I want it for January, but also for the future. Quite interesting to see. Well, it has just created it for March, okay, because in this demo, that would be strange, okay, but I would be selling them in February, March, even in April. So this will be presenting information for that. But for now, this is good for me because apparently I have sales orders in the future in yellow, okay, and then purchase orders, of course, my investment. Okay, so the idea, well, that will be that the cash flow is going to be depicted here, and in the future, I want to see this. I want to see a line that is going actually up. Okay, that will be a cash flow analysis. Is not yet completed here. We would need a lot of data. This is quite a detailed report, believe me. And then here, report inbox, because you want to, I don't know, print your own reports on a daily basis. You are going to only then have a report inbox for your users, because in this case, I will be printing, let me see this. Oh, the balance sheet is on a daily basis being printed, and the item charges is on a weekly basis. Yeah, on a weekly basis. So yeah, so Business Central, if you wanted, you as a technical person, we train you to do this type of stuff, so you can actually give it to your customers, and you can print in different outputs or files. The other one is Power BI report. This is embedded. This is one of my reports that my user can just basically see here, and then they are going to be able to expand the report. Power BI is a third-party tool that is basically creating and taking information from Business Central, and voila, my accountant can see a super cool report that is actually even dynamic. Let's take a look. I have the team scorecard, which is basically sales. So let's say that I want to see the sales operations by Andrew. Let's click on Andrew. When I do that, all my different graphics and charts are going to be changing dynamically. Even we could add some filters. Look at these filters on this visual. So maybe the date, maybe the month, maybe the item or whatever, right? So this is the idea. It's dynamic. And this is quite interesting to have and to see, because this is consuming information from the ERP actually. But at the same time, let me show you the technology now. If I open a Power BI, I'm going to get out of Business Central for a moment, and then I will be on the Power BI actual the desktop page or website. Okay, so this is then the Power BI home, let's say. Here, I have prepared many reports. I have finance insights, procurement, quite interesting reports. So if I take a look at the finance insights, it's going to open my report here. By itself, Power BI is going to just basically open the page, and you can share it in your cell phone or tablet or send it through email, or look at this, chat in Teams. Okay, so I can open my own account. And how the idea of this, let me show you some reports now that I'm here. So before going anywhere else, income statement. So this chart is now, oh, well, these KPIs and charts and figures, I'm going to be taking information from my income statement. This is my income for the month, operating income. Let's take a look at these beautiful charts and look at this. In red is the lowest income month, right? And well, all my different operating revenue sections of the P&L, not operating income, whatever, and with, well, these beautiful reports, basically. This is how everything is connected, okay? This is even telling me that I could access to Teams and share this in Teams. I could as well come into Business Central, and as well, if I want, here's my chart of accounts. I'm gonna be able to show a tool. Let's just open in Excel, edit in Excel, share to Teams as well. So this is, well, the communication tool that I was mentioning, okay, from Microsoft, the official one, and we can share that chart of accounts from there. Okay, so the idea is how everything is just basically connected through all these different apps, all these different programs. Well, the idea is that you are going to be only connected with one single user, which is going to be an Office 365. Even I could open my Microsoft Office 365 profile just for you to understand the idea. We have a subscription, right? That we give you or to your users in the company. With this, they're going to get a license, okay, that has access to Business Central. But today I'm going to be the administrator. This is, well, basically my team that I have. But as well, remember, Office 365 account is because, well, basically you're going to provide your own information, like my telephone number, right? As well, I have my own files here that I have uploaded, so to speak. So the Office 365 account, right, is just basically enable all this functionality, all right, for me to connect only with one single domain, the domain that you can create for your company with your name and in the email, so to speak. Well, the people that doesn't understand the domain idea is that we give you when a single access, but instead of Business Central only, it could say Business Central and the name of your company.com, right? That will be the domain in a general way. But the thing is that, well, here it connects with Dynamics 365. You know that Dynamics 365 is in the end, well, a subscription for the Office tools, typically like Word, Excel, and online, right? Because those tools now, Office 365 exist already online, right? And from here, the idea is that we can integrate all of that, all of these different technologies and software through the actual single access that you have, okay? Plus, if you want double authentication and other security specific processes, no problem. That's part of the nowadays technology. So it's updated technology, basically. And well, I was talking about that. Well, apart from only having that, you would need a license, right? This, well, you would be able to speak with us here with Optimus. Say, I would like to have additional functionality. I understand that even you could ask me now in this very moment, access to a Business Central test environment, right? And just to mention, so you can play around, do what I do. And then here, well, we have different modules, okay? Business Central actually works with all your financial processes. We as well have project management, operations, which is manufacturing and others, reporting and analytics, supply chain, purchase, sale, prepayments, and sales and service management, okay, which is, well, for CRM. We have a CRM module, okay? So let's identify some subscription levels, and I'm opening now the Microsoft official site just to see the licensing. Just give me 1 second while it updates. So I can present you the different licenses that you can purchase, just as an example, because I want to show you the modules and what you can do with those modules, okay? So if I just come here into my very first screen, I'm gonna be able to as well, if you don't want to always continue searching, the first thing that Business Central does is, okay, you are an accountant, okay, that's good. But, well, what type of menus are going to be present in my screen? Just list them, okay? Because, well, immediately this is another way sometimes people find information. Like in the previous, any program, okay, in the past used to work, so to speak, like with menus this way. Explore more roles. So if you come to Business Central for the first time, you're going to feel like, hey, this is, I don't know, I need my menus where they are, just to begin, right? So let's say you want to go, okay, to the menus. Okay, here they are, the different modules, finance. I can see the warehouse, human resources, right? We're going to take a look at a few of them. Well, if I can, I will explore all of them so you can understand them, okay? But here is my regular menus that we used to have in NAV. For instance, I want to go to finance. Let's explore the general ledger. Here I have a chart of accounts, the components of the actual structure of the finance module, where you could create your chart of accounts, your GL budgets, and basic reports. Three things. Well, maybe another idea that is the dimensions. Okay, so I'm showing you the structure. What is finance? Well, basically, just to begin, you're going to create one chart of accounts. Let's just begin with the finance module. Here, we're going to creating and upload your information from your own accounts, or maybe you already are working within this. Okay, but here the idea is that we're going to get just basically the structure immediately in this first screen, where I'm going to get while P&L and my balance sheet. And you can see that we have uploaded already the structure. You don't have to go any other place to create this simple basic report. It's already here. And then if you want how it works, well, basically, you could filter, super important now, of course, filter by document, but what if I want to see information by, let's say, this will be super specific type of filter. I want the debit amount in some accounts to be 10,000. I don't remember where I actually left. Well, I know that I posted a journal that was 10,000, but to which accounts, okay? So you could just filter only for the accounts that could be with a larger balance than a specific amount, so to speak, by date, okay? So as well, I could filter only January, or if you want, we could be super specific and let's filter the document number that you were looking for, okay? So that's the idea, okay? Filter, 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 and your chart of account nowadays is dynamic. We have the net change, we have the additional currency. So if you want to report in multiple currencies, this is going to be done automatically. Okay, and well, the chart of accounts as well, not only to be able to, let's say, dynamically present information, well, as well, you could, of course, well, let's take a look at the rent expense. This is the entries for this expense account. And here I can see all the different entries, okay, by document number, which will be normally invoices, okay, that I was preparing. But look at this as well. I might be able to take a look at the division code, because in my company, I have different divisions. So what else? One other idea, just to make you with the idea of what is the financial module. I would like to then go to the dimensions, to an idea coming from NAV. This is the second component of the financial module that allow us to not only present information with the chart of accounts concept, but as well, I need to make one, so to speak, account, right, related to my different departments: administration, production, projects, purchases, and sale. Why not to create a report combining all any given expense account, but let's just separate it by department, That's perfectly attainable with this idea. So we don't have to create one GL account per department. So we just create one expenses account for the internal departments, and then we come into the dimensions to create our own departments. Okay. Another idea for sales would be the typical geographical area to the big sales. Nothing complicated, but this is super useful for, well, the operation, basically. Okay. So the idea is that you create your dimensions, you create your chart of accounts, and last but not least, the actual budgets, the last component of the finance simple general ledger. Okay, we call it GL budgets. So within Excel, we have the tools to, and I'm going to go faster, right? I cannot create a budget. I want to show the modules for you to have a 360 view. But here is my budget, which is my benchmark. And then I would like to use this to compare with the actual real figures from the income statement. Good. And then here my idea is just to export and import from Excel. Remember that we are fully integrated as well. So as I continue checking modules, I as well show you more integrations. Here is Excel. So that's perfectly normal to continue working. This comes from NAV and currently is being used with enhanced parts. Let me show you. This is the simple export function that we have. So you could export, in this case, your budget, but this could be the chart of accounts, this could be the items, this could be whatever, right? And then the report in this case will be created, so you can see well what I have done through Excel. So the idea is that we are connecting, right? We importing, exporting, sorry, using Excel. This is super useful for all your accountants in your company, so they will be then using these tools. I love it because this has these drag and drop options. Well, Excel, from where I can copy paste and do well all this in a very fast manner. And from that, well, why not just to simply import my budget once again using the import from Excel function, right? So this is it. This is the idea. This is how then we work integrated, fully integrated, okay? And as well, the financial processes includes a multi-currency environment. So in this case, I have 3 currencies with the respective exchange rate, okay? Super easy in this case for me to work as an accountant because as well we could integrate an exchange rate services like it's going to update my exchange rate, okay, immediately on real time. So on a daily basis, however you want to then configure this. So this is then the exchange rate, and that's why in my, if necessary, your reports like the chart of accounts could provide an additional currency column, okay? With this in mind, any given report can be prepared in additional currency, okay? P&L, balance sheet, cash flow, whatever you might be thinking, you can use your local or foreign exchange currency. Your accountants as well are going to be able to work within fixed assets. The fixed assets is normally, well, basically the machines, the cars, the laptops, etc. So here, the fixed asset module is going to do the following. We just basically ask you about those fixed assets that we are going to need to update and upload in Business Central as fixed asset cards. So we're going to get a description, we're going to get a picture, and other additional information that we might have, like we need to classify, okay, financial, intangible, or tangible fixed assets. Then we are going to maybe use the serial number field, and we do it for the plate. And then we have, sorry, most importantly for us accountants, the book value. But the idea of Business Central is that it actually is going to calculate the monthly depreciation for us. That's the only process that is actually doing. And then let me just go to fixed assets reports to open the fixed asset ledger entries. Depreciation and the book value and understand all the given information. So we are gonna then be able to, let's say, I have my acquisition cost, it was 35,000. And what Business Central is basically going to be doing, then I have my depreciation on a monthly basis, right? This is basically what it does. And then with this, we are going to be able to continue then working with with the depreciation calculated for us in a general way, but it has as well maintenance, so you can actually work with your expenses. And there are plenty of other integrations that I have seen in the market, because this is the standard. Just in case you need, well, to add fixed asset under construction that, well, lately, sometimes, and so for some of you, this will be interesting to see as well. We have it. Okay, so this is the fixed asset. We have as well AR, AP, right? We have banking. Let me show you as well my banks just a little bit. And the idea is that, well, we're going to get American Express, Bank of America, any bank of your preference in your own country, in your own local currency, right? And then we are going to be able to post transactions against those banks to manage our accounts. I have a super negative balance here, but the bank is going to give me information about all the entries that I have paid. So for instance, I have some payments and credit memos, invoices that I have, well, income and outcome from this bank, but as well with the related document. So in this case, I'm going to get the amount, the debit amount, and I can do a reconciliation, okay? So as I continue using my bank, let's say to pay invoices for vendors, whatever, right? I could then, at the end of the day, do a bank record, which is, well, basically the core of our functionality. The bank reconciliation then helps me, I have plenty of them, where I'm going to be able to open the bank and see the transactions that I have posted, just to verify if they are already as well in my website. So we have two pages. The bank reconciliation has, well, the right page where I could just verify information about all the entries that my accountant have posted. In the left side, I'm going to be able to do the following: manually input information from my actual statement, or the one that the bank provides. And then I'm going to be able as well to input manually my information, right? But like I'm doing it just right now. But then here, the idea is that we could do two things for you. Import bank statement. We can just ask your bank, what is the type of file that you can provide, normally CVS or Excel separated by comma, so to speak. And then we are going to be able to import that information into Business Central, so you don't have actually to input anything manually and save a lot of time, right? And then integrate with Business Central that file, so you just basically import it. If that's not enough, if you think that, well, for your accountants, for those of you experienced with this type of operation, it takes a lot. But nowadays we have, once again, integrated. Let me show you once again. Some other ideas. For instance, if you nowadays, if you are the admin, the key user, some of you are learning from scratch what is the idea, right, of Business Central. Well, I have implemented myself one single solution that actually, at least in the USA for now, Evernest, Yodlee Bank, connect Business Central to any bank in the USA. So you are going to be able to see immediately integrated your information as you posted, as you send payments from your bank website, immediately send it back to Business Central, all right? And it's going to able to give us those connections immediately. This will be for the USA, but as well we have others integrations, like if you are in another country, we have the banking solution, so you can connect that to Business Central. Okay, so this is the bank reconciliation. The idea is that we have one bank account with all the different entries that we just post, bank account reconciliation, and as well we can print checks. Okay, that will be then for a specific demo, but that allows us actually then to work this way. And well, the other stuff is quite normal, like, oh yes, we have a general journal, right? We can then post a debit, a credit in any given journal with dimensions. Okay, we have Interestingly, recurring general journals, right? This gives us the possibility then as well to automate when to post a transaction. So different methodologies. Fixed would be, let's say, I want to pay the rent. This is my rent expense for this account, right? And then we are going to post $1,000 on a monthly basis, so to speak. You can control specifically that with our recurring general journals. You can say my recurring frequency will be well on a monthly basis. We train you to do this type of lines like I have already. Let's say I'm going to pay every 2 months, okay, but only in the last date. So this formula means I will be paying every 2 months on the last day of the month, and this will be fixed. But as well could be, well, other ideas. I want it variable because my amounts always change, okay? But let's do a reversal for the next period. It's not a problem, right? So different type of then recurring general journals that will be now posting information for me automatically. So you don't have to create, well, all the general journals. So I'm just mentioning, right? We, of course, have this functionality. We just immediately are going to be able to open and do all the manual operations that we know we have. Okay, now let's just review some other modules. Why not to check AP, for instance? So we have vendors. Okay, now let's take a look at one of our vendors. Okay, one vendor card. So let me just introduce you to my Fabricam vendor Inc. I have a picture. I actually never use a picture, but here is my general data that I would create. Okay, so I would need to add the address, okay, an email, very, very important. Okay, and the homepage, well, that they have, another, well, general information. Then we are going to be creating some fields that are related to the how do we operate and how do we connect this vendor whenever we purchase to specific GL accounts, okay? And we do this in the invoicing section. And for payments as well, we have specific special fields like the payment terms code that allows me to define when to pay a specific invoice, when to pay, or what would be the payment method code. And interestingly, nowadays, we have PayPal, an additional option, well, that previously we only have cash, credit, debit, cards, and, well, others, transfers. And PayPal is an extension that we add, all right? So your customers, or if your vendor has PayPal, you pay through your account and it connects to Business Central, okay? So with this in mind, interestingly to say, well, any given vendor, of course, well, as well has its own entries. Well, it's part of the ERP functionality. We have, well, all the different documents that we have created. In this case, plenty of invoices that I haven't paid. And now we see the information that is in red, okay? So because these are overdue invoices for me in my case, right, in these examples. And here I can see the external document number, so I need to pay to the vendor the actual vendor invoice, okay, that they gave me. So this is a posted purchase invoice. I can see that I am selling some items, and I can see, well, quite large amount that I need to pay to this vendor. Okay, and from here, then the idea is that you could actually print it, provide this to the vendor, so to speak, if you are still negotiating or whatever, or send it through an email and attach it as a PDF. Okay, that would be the idea. Let me just show you an example. I'm going to open a purchase order for the first time. The idea is that the purchase order process will be even a purchase quote. Let's just give you some ideas for the supply chain. The purchase order quotes basically are created so you can now have some negotiations with your customers or vendors, and then just add this functionality to well, to start negotiating any given purchase. The same Fabricam, I'm gonna then insert an item. Okay, look at how easy then it is. Okay, and through these new designs, okay, well, new is something that I won't say anymore. This has already 4 years in the market. But if you don't want it to, or if you need some help from the system as well, this could open a secondary window so you can search by description or something like that, right? Any keyword that you want to add, and Business Central is just basically going to start filtering for you specific items that you want by description or by item number or price or unit cost, or which is the vendor who is providing that is not a problem. Okay, so this is then the vendor catalog. I have downloaded from the vendor website these actual items with the actual references, because this vendor is selling me these items. He's selling me the items like Coke, but in a pallet, right? And other barcode numbers. So when I actually want to purchase, I will be seeing the same information that they actually just basically use. And then, well, just insert, I'm going to be negotiating the cost, the price, the quantity. Very important. We have multiple unit of measures. What are we purchasing? A unit or a box with 24 units, okay? So this is normally what we would be doing in any given purchase. As well, just to mention, we could purchase other stuff like GL accounts, which normally is when we are paying some expenses, financially speaking, right? And fixed assets as well, this could be quite related to finance as well. But yes, when we do a purchase, this could create a fixed asset for us. Okay, and then we are going to click after I finalize my quote, right? I could continue creating quotes and quotes and quotes. It's not going to be a problem. At some point, one of the purchase quote will be the winner, okay? And from here, I will be making an order. Okay, now the system is asking me, do you want to convert this quote to an order? Okay, and I will click on yes. So from a simple quotation that is just, so to speak, a simple draft, okay, document, I could be creating a real purchase order. What will be the difference? Well, basically, a purchase order is a legal firm document that, well, we are going to be having the reception of an item, and then we'll be paying. This is the evidence, okay, of this actual purchase process. But what I wanted to show you as well through the technology is that, well, we are going to be able to do the following. First of all, in my purchase order, I'm going to get information about, well, special prices, special discount, what will be the availability of these items. So I have 576. Hey, I have one special price, one special discount. Let me take a look at what this vendor is offering me. So we have special prices and discount automated functionality, right? In this case, I'm seeing that I'm going to get a 10% discount, okay, for my product, okay, and this will be, well, basically one addition that I would like to take, okay, but this is then asking me for a specific currency, or if I want to ask for a special price, okay, as well, it would give me, hey, you're gonna get special price for 12.9, but then check it out, how many a minimum quantity, in this case is zero. What's the minimum quantity, or the starting and ending date of a specific discount or a special price that you might get if you purchase this item? So these are then basically suggestions from the system. And then as well, just mentioning, I was talking about that we have integrated Outlook. So after I finalize my negotiation, I could print it. I send it immediately to my printer. Or if not, why not to send it by email, okay? Let's just send an email, just prompt from the settings from Outlook, and the email attachment, I want it to be PDF. So to speak, this could be Excel, Word, or others. Let's just take a look at the integration. While it is preparing then my email, the idea is that it is going to be using the vendor email, right? And from here, I have an automated email. The body was created behind the scene. So we ask you about what type of emails you want. We have this type of processes when we do an implementation, emails for these, for invoices, for purchases, for your customers, right? Get the idea. And then, well, the purchase order is attached to this message, hello, Fabrica. And here, well, I have sincerely, in this case, my company is Kronos, right? But here, then the purchase order is created, the PDF document, with your report, okay? So this is going to be sent to your vendor with just one click. The idea is that we are automating all of this. So you, with one single click, have an email prepared for your vendors. And then with this specific report, we as well can customize with your own logo. And if this is boring for you, only black, we could add colors, or however you want it. However you have your own invoice designs or purchase order design, we could just immediately update it here in Business Central to automate all of that process, so all those steps, and make it easier for you. Okay, so then another part of the Outlook integration that I want to show you that as well work, right? Within the purchase order, a purchase is not only for this one, right? Let me show you another module. This was just basically some AP, some purchases, right? So you can understand what more or less you can do, how it looks, right? We as well have a CRM embedded a module. And what it does, what is a CRM basically? Well, let me just go to that. Here it is. Sometimes we have a module that help us to then have different, not only customer and vendors, but behind the scene, behind every banker, behind every customer, behind every vendor, we have a lot of people that we need to remember, right? And especially if you are doing business, well, you might need them to understand specific processes that you might have with these people. What are those? Simple persons? Are those companies? Are those, what are they? Okay, and this is the CRM that I was talking about. So here I have 11 people that gave me their email, but as well there might be only persons or companies. Let's just explore this a little bit. The CRM module in Business Central, basically what it does is helps me creating the actual companies that I have. And let's take a look. What have you done with this customer? I have sales order, 1, 2, 3 different sales orders, okay? And the system is on a monthly basis sending the monthly statement, okay? So are you giving special service to this customer because you have track of the activities that you are doing, okay? And what the CRM does is basically creating a business cycle to start offering items, or any other services to these actual vendors that we call opportunities, okay? We just want to follow up a process. Let's just take a look at swivel chair. I'm selling furniture. So let me see someone that has more processes. 1 second. Good. Okay, as you can see, this opportunity is just in English, this will be an increase in sales. Somebody has qualified the customer and somebody has made the initial contact. And apparently the estimated value for this initial contact was 2,000. It's good to have it, okay? So what does this actually, and how it works, okay? Because I need to present to the customer, I need to visit the customer, maybe making a meeting, maybe making a proposal, and all of those. That will be the business cycle. That's basically what I'm doing inside this, okay? How it works. And the idea is that, well, you're going to get basically as a business cycle. I first go and make my initial contact. I have 9 opportunities for these people that have actually contact this customer already, okay? And they mark through the actual opportunity that I show you what they have been doing, okay? The following one is, okay, let's go and do a presentation of our products. Then later, go and do the well-defined proposal, right? And here I have 2 opportunities for Elena Ray 3 and for another customer, Benjamin Chu. So that is basically how I will make my salespeople follow this process and tell me in which stage they are. But this is once again related to my sales invoices, orders as well, that are, look at these open sales orders, open sales quotes that you have created, and the closed opportunities that I have finalized for today. All of these opportunities created one sales order or something like that. And let's take a look. Okay, after this person created their opportunity for a data corporation, they have qualified, they have sent the initial opportunity, and in this case, another one for opportunity for March. I have already signed a contract. This is another part of my cycle. So we first present with the customer, then we qualify it with the specific amount. Then we get the proposal and design contract for the actual real amount. Okay, success and probability. Well, you have here. Okay. This is normally the CRM processes. Okay, so we have this module and plenty of different activities that we have behind the scene that are as well integrated with Outlook. So we are going to be sending emails, grab information from the customers, and as well with Outlook that I was mentioning, well, all of these sales are going to be sending them all of that info. Now, if I open actually Outlook, because you as a salesperson, of course, work within your email a lot, the good news, if you actually do this type of tasks, inside and how it actually is going to be working, every opportunity that well, following the cycle, right, it actually helped me then to create interactions. And let me just show you. I want to create an interaction and for any given, to make a contract to design, I need to then, let's say, do an event, a golf event, income phone call. Okay, let's do a phone call. Please understand that this is a task that I need to complete, and we just add it. So then the idea is to add Teams, meetings, calls, emails that you will be sending, different tasks that are basically related to the general sales cycle. On the other hand, we are going to then basically, let me see, having a Business Central add-on now in actual Business Central in Outlook. So remember the contacts that I mentioned you before, right? There will be then as well my contacts that I have from Outlook. Okay, so that will be then the main idea. Everything is integrated now. As I'm actually checking this email, or let me change another email. This is coming from Noe Wellman. And then from here, I could say, okay, I have this email from this person. He's looking for a quotation and prices for specific items. This is how we begin with our sales process in CRM. And they want these specific items, okay? So this is related to basketball, as I can see. Now, the add-on in Business Central is going to verify if this person is already one of my contacts. So I'm going to be creating my contact list, basically. And it's going to tell me as well if he's working in a specific company that will be maybe as well a customer that I have already created in Business Central. And that's basically the scenario that is happening here. Business Central told me, hey, this contact that you have created, or well, you are receiving an email from Mr. Noe, which is myself, actually works in this company at Atom Corporation. Okay, and well, basically, it's going to present me first statistics about the customer, basically the depth and the depth that is due for 742. And then, well, some additional accumulated sales, nothing complicated, but most importantly, how many sales you have already with this customer. So, well, that's a good customer. 8 different sales that I have, okay, and 2 invoices that I will need to maybe, while I do the negotiation, just ask him, hey, I have 2 invoices that you haven't paid. Can you just let me know? One for 10,000, one for 7,000. And while you continue your sales cycle, offering the contract, offering the new prices, right? It has created the invoice, okay? The invoice that I actually wanted, right? That would be basically the main idea. And well, it's showing me this invoice is already created in Business Central, but I can see this in the actual add-on that I have. And it has the functions like posting, post and send, preview posting, draft invoices, right? Other ideas that we could just basically use, other functions that we could just use in this case, right? For well, this specific customer. Let me just exit and come back. So this is my negotiation, right? But well, most importantly, the add-on is just, well, it's going to basically help me to create my different documents like purchase orders or sales quotations and things like that. Okay, so I have sent already some emails, right? Let me just show you the sales quote. Okay, yeah. With this, the idea is that I have sent already the quotation for one of my customer actually asked me, but the AI technology has algorithms to check the actual request. Okay, so if I take a look at the previous emails, this customer as well asked me for Coca-Cola and Heineken beers. So the idea is just that, well, from here, the actual solution is going to help me to create the actual document, right? The sales quotation that you see here that currently has the Coca-Cola Heineken beer is because this was already written in the email. Okay, that will be basically the process. And here, if I want to create a sales quotation or whatever, right, then you can click on sales quote, for instance, to create a new document, whatever, and the algorithms are going to read the text of the actual email body to then help you to create the actual document. Okay, so as you can see, it might not be, I have tested thousands of times this functionality. Sometimes it fails, okay, because the description or the grammarly, well, there's an issue, right? But well, if the descriptions are okay, and well, look at this, Coca-Cola 400 milliliters, 500 pieces. It just read this text and added the actual line for me. So it creates it for you. And then you just simply send the quote. So it's good to have this for you in the CRM or sales department. You have all these different tools that you can just basically use to send information to your customers, right? And just to mention, yes, this quotation that was created in Outlook, of course, is actually in Business Central. So this is a CRM. This is the CRM where we actually have a sales cycle, specific activities. We track our activities to see what type of customers, well, are creating the best opportunities that I will be tracking instead of being blind and just will follow up with your actual notes in a notebook. How am I going? Have I presented this or that or whatever? Have I completed the contract, or have I sent already the quote? Don't worry, because in one single place you can check all of this information, and this is in the CRM. Okay, so let's continue. Let's just having some other information, and let me just go to the warehouse. Why not? So we call it now the, okay, 1 second. I have a question that if we could, by any chance, upload multiple purchase orders in Business Central. So yes, and let's say that every purchase order has 200, 300 lines, right? You want to save some time, and the answer is just basically yes. Okay, how then do we do it? We have one method that we use to import data that we call the Rapid Start technology. The configuration packages are basically exactly to do that. So let's just make an example. Whenever I need to import something, just to mention, this tool, and it's good to mention because so you can take a bonus for this webinar, where we are going to be creating a new package. You as a user, and we train you to do that, you just tell me, I want to import purchase orders. This could be items, this could be others, right? So this will be purchase orders. Let me just finalize some basic information that I will need to have in my header, and that's it. So Business Central gives you the option through this thing that we call a package, okay, where we are going to be able to say, hey, Mr. Noé, what do you want to import, export from my system? Let's just take a look, because I know that inside, let's say, our database has information, but it's allocated in different, what we call tables, right, in any given database. So in this case, I have the purchase header and the purchase line. These two documents allow me to import or export purchase orders, yes, in a very easy way. So let's take a look. With this importing Rapid Start tool, the idea is just to select this so-called table, the entity that, once again, I am telling you is where our data is. So to speak, the data is not in Business Central. It uses the integrated solution uses a SQL database. Basically, the SQL database is where our data is located and is organized by tables. Okay, so I'm selecting just specifically where this information, I know this information where the purchase orders, I know where they are stored in this database, and they are in only two tables. From here, you are going to be able to select which fields you desire to select to import. Or maybe this could be your items, okay, as well, remember. So let's say I want to include, well, the vendor number, the ship to code, if it's important, where, from where. So specific fields that, well, with some training and, well, we tell you what they mean. The order date, if that's important for you, when you are purchasing, the due date. For us, the due date in Business Central is when you need to pay something, okay? So we speak with all of you guys when you want to import something, and we speak about the components or elements we want to include. So yes, I'm gonna need the due date in this case. Yes, let me include it. But I don't have discounts. I don't have discounts, so to speak. So I'm not going to include it. And other fields that will be not important and can just extract them using the selection of your fields. All right. Just to mention, the following would be export and import from Excel. Okay, so I'm going to give you then I'm finalizing this example, the Excel that you need to then fill for us. Okay, so you are going to be able to import purchase orders. So in this case, through this tool, we give you the Excels that you need. And if you get some training, then you are going to be able to create your own packages. Okay, but just give you an idea, because this is what we use to then go and do an implementation, okay? We ask you for your chart of accounts, for your customers, your vendors, your invoices, your purchase orders, whatever, right? And well, just basically this is it, okay? So tell me, what do you want? I have some purchase orders that I want to, well, basically this is a document type order, and very important, the document number that you, well, would be using maybe, meaning that we follow numbers or series. And then through one, let me check one purchase order. Okay. The purchase order number, we would need the vendor number and the item number, so to speak. There's, of course, additional data, the cost, the expected receipt date, when this should be coming and so forth, right? Not a problem. But this is the way, okay? We use Excels, and we call it the rapid start methodology. With this you can select one you want to import, you can select specific fields, you can create your own Excel, fill it. We would need just a meeting to then verify what information we would need to import. That will be important for yourself, and then click on import from Excel, and voila, your purchase orders will be imported. And this works for all the documents and master data that we have. All right. So once we understand, please send me any question. It's not a problem. I will be helping with that. Okay. I'm going to be showing the actual warehousing functionality. So the idea is that we create your warehouses basically as different physical sites, or this could be even stores, trucks. Look at all of these different examples by the name of where are located, and then, okay, we have different flavors for your warehousing functionality. What is that? Well, let's just divide it from the easiest one, which is a black box, and I'm gonna call it the basic warehousing, okay? And I have my main warehouse, but I might have additional functionality because I need to interact with the zones, with different shelves, bins, and whatever. Let me just give you an example. The most advanced type of warehousing is WMS, of course. And what is that? What is a WMS? I have heard the term, but I don't really fully understand, because I don't even know how my warehouse should be implemented, to be honest. Because yes, I know that I have my inventory, but how is it related to Business Central? Let's just speak about it a little bit. In my main warehouse WMS, I will just for every location ask you about the name, so to speak, and then we have the general information where it is located. This is important for our reception documents, purchase orders, shipments, super important. And then the contact. As well, super important. I have my email here because if somebody send me a notification, well, I can just receive it and I'm the warehouse clerk, of course. And then that's super important to make the appointments for the delivers and things like that. Then the warehouse can have additional functions that allows me to design my own warehouse by zones. This is really advanced, okay? Where I will be having a reception zone, a shipping zone, a quality control zone, right? What else? For those of you that work with the chemicals or food, frozen, assembly, for those of you who create kits, right? And a bulk zone where I have all my items after I have received. So get the idea that we have different zones from where we as well have different shelves with different labels, and each shelf has one code, bulk 01, bulk 02, or if you want, according to the ale where this shelf is located, give me a code so you can identify where it is located physically in your warehouse, the height, so you might have one shelf or one rack with multiple levels, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and so forth, right? And then, well, this is the actual design where you have shelves. So how then do we then will be working? What is basic, what is advanced when we actually purchase or sell or whatever? Okay, let me just show you basically the basic type of warehousing process. So I'm going to create a simple purchase order. If I have one already, let me use it better. That helps me with that. Okay, so the previous Fabricam a purchase order that I already sent to the vendor, but now I want to present another module, is going to then be working with the basic warehouse. I know that for my multiple warehouses that I have created, they are going to be enabled for your users to use it out in this example in a purchase order. So I'm going to be inputting my basic warehousing so you can see how it works, what it is, what is the idea of this. The main warehouse is basic. For me, let's say it's a black box, okay, where I put everything. So I want to know the physical quantity of the items, well, that are currently here, okay? So for me, the physical warehouse, the basic warehouse idea is just this. I have a purchase, I want 10, and they will be received on any given date, well, actually on this actual date, plan a reception date. So that's negotiated already. I cannot do anything else, but this is basic warehouse. How do I then work with this? The idea is just that I will be having all my operations that I do in basic warehouses, okay, are just basically done in this same document. I don't even need to go out. This is for these smallest warehouses, you know, a few square meters, not really complicated. I don't even have forklifts or anything, you know, cumbersome here. It's just a simple physical area where I store my items. So I will then update the quantity to receive. In this case, we have one field to input that information, and this is the idea. For us in Business Central, we just, oh, this is asking me for approval. I forgot to mention that we have approval workflows, by the way, sorry. I'm the administrator in this moment. I'm gonna approve myself. So now this is released, okay? The idea of the approval workflows, just to mention before I continue with my warehousing activities, is that for us, there is. For us, we can send before a document or an action is actually performed, we could make somebody, in this case, let's talk about the most popular purchases, okay? We have then the option to make somebody review my information, if the cost is okay, if the unit of measure, the items that I want to purchase are okay, right? Let's make somebody review that apart from me, the one who created this. So for approval workflows, we have somebody that will be our administrator who can approve everything that is already over. This is mandatory. We can send approval workflows for your general journals, for payments, I don't know if you will have a full set of different payments, but some of them need to go to the controller because of the amount, because of the type of vendor, because of whatever, and they can just go before anything else. Integration or incoming document, if you actually want to work with OCR, you might want to verify the scan document before it is converted to an actual invoice. So as an example, well, verify that everything that the scanner did was okay, and then you can accept that to create an actual document. Then we have the purchase and payables, where I'm going to get a vendor approval workflow every time I create a vendor. And then the most popular, which is a purchase order, typically approval a workflow, okay? But as well, this could be for credit memos, this could be for only invoices, right? And things like that. Then sales and marketing. Let's say you create your customers, but you want to have an approval workflow, okay? For every time you create a customer, or every time you only change the credit limit. It's an idea, right? And if you go above that credit limit, stop selling. And then you can create an additional approval workflow for different sales documents, okay? So a sales credit memo, sales invoices, or send an invoice, but with if you have a credit limit issue with a customer, you are not going to be able to just send it, but send it before to an approval workflow to decide if with the current debt, we can still sell to any given customer. So those are the workflows we can enable. And the way they work is, one, you created your purchase order. In this case, you actually are going to see a button that is request approval, send approval request, right? And then the approvers actually have one special window with some training. Well, we just tell them how to then approve. So I have a lot of different approvals to that I have actually created already here. Approved, cancel, different statuses, okay? So you are going to be able to see what you have done. We send an email to the approver, and then we have other very good data. Like from the actual document, you are going to be able to see who approved. This was the approver. This is the status, okay? In this case, I have approved myself, so don't worry about it. But you can have comments. Hey, I have rejected your purchase order because it doesn't have evidence of the original document that the vendor sent. I wanted to approve your purchase, or things like that. Okay, so that was just a parenthesis. I'm gonna come back to my then a basic warehousing review. I was mentioning that I have a purchase order. I have one field to receive any quantity that you desire. This could be partial or complete, but this is the idea. I have two steps to receive or to invoice, or the third one is receive an invoice at the same time, okay? Don't worry about this. It's up to you how you want to use it. In this case, let's say I'm just going to receive. So in this same document, I don't use handhelds. I don't use shelves or anything to mark. Just tell me how many you have received, okay, in this actual warehouse. And everything is done in this same purchase order. Very easy to do, right? And while is updating information, when I receive in this same purchase order, it's gonna update. You have received only 10 units. But everything is done here, very easy. And then from here, I could even check how many receptions I have, or how many invoices are actually linked to this purchase. So the idea is that, well, for basic warehousing, you do everything here. Let me show you my receipt. The reception, well, ideally, in an additional step, you would like, let's say, to separate the activities. I want somebody to purchase and somebody else to receive in different pages, in different windows, because guess what? The warehouse clerk doesn't understand all the time the actual purchase information, or discounts, costs, or prices, taxes. He only wants to see the item number, the quantity, and the unit of measure, okay? So the purchase receipt is a cleaner form where the user is going to be able to see only what to receive and when to receive those items. Okay, so maybe you would be asking, I want a separation of the different activities. I don't want to do everything in one single purchase order like you are doing, Noe, because this would be not good because my warehousing process, I want to separate, well, all the activities. Somebody will be receiving, somebody will be shipping, somebody will be creating purchases. So we have different activities. And well, then for that, I won't be able to use this basic warehousing functionality. But in this case, if this is enough for you, a simple warehouse, a quite small area, right? Nothing complicated. You could even invoice this purchase order here with permission of the purchaser or AP, right? And from here, we have done everything. We have purchase, we have done our reception, and we have invoiced this purchase in one single document. So this is basic warehousing, nothing complicated at all in this very moment, right? But to talk about the additional warehousing functionality, let me show you. Once again, coming to the advanced warehousing where I will be opening my WMS. In this case, yes, I have, as I mentioned, you zones and beans, okay? So yeah, this is a more complicated warehousing, and I will be having teams of people in different areas, somebody in the receiving, somebody in the shipping zone, at least, okay? But then you might have another areas for production, assembly, your bulk area, and different types of people working here. Plus, why not to speak about then inserting then not only this part, but to work additionally with, let me just show you my handheld and what it does, okay? One second, please. I'm connecting one of my devices here. Actually, this is for those of you who are interested in inventory with WMS or things like that. Let me start sharing. One second, please. I have here my handheld, and now I want to just share with you guys. I'm connecting. And here, okay. Let's talk about what is a handheld. It's just basically that we can actually use different handheld devices, or in this case, I'm using my smartphone, right? And this is it. Okay, I know that I have to receive something, but I cannot only use that single simple document for my warehouse, which has more advanced functionality. Why not to tell me, Mr. Noé, what type of information you have? You can see here an item inquiry here in the top, some icons, bin inquiry, to be able to count, basic count, receive, put away, ad hoc move. Well, all of those help me then to actually just work, okay? But in this case, the idea as well is that I will be able to then click, I'm going to receive some items in my handheld now. So this is going to be able to then, for instance, help me to check my warehouse receipt documents, okay? And from here, I could be able to open any of them. And this is going to show me the items that I have currently here. So in the reception zone, in the bin called Rec01, so I want to receive the item number 1039 that currently I need to receive 5 pallets. Okay, so this is an addition because this is indicating inside this warehouse, I have a reception zone. So please, when you actually scan this, okay, the idea would be very easy. Just using your scanner like beep, beep, beep. This is a pistol that we just trigger, right? And then this is going to immediately open a screen for you to then input how many units you are receiving. In this case, only 5. Okay, and with my 5 pallets, even it has a calculator. So, right, well, you are going to be able to, hey, I have 5 packages, but inside it has like 20 units. Let's multiply, and then we calculate the quantity. So with this, I'm going to be able to receive my 5 pallets of Heineken beer, okay? And then I'm going to click on OK. And this is a more advanced functionality because the idea here is that by any given, process that you want to use has more functions, okay? Let's say, hey, Noe, tell me immediately where have I received this item or where it is located. So I could click on item inquiry in this option. It has an additional module. So with this, I'm going to be able to see what I have done with this item before. So basically I have 0 records. I haven't never received this item before in this warehouse. Okay. So from here as well, I could as well post it. Okay, and this is going to ask me, do you want to post this receipt? And I'm going to click on yes. But this has to do now with working with bins, with the shelves, with the different zones, right? And then we are going to then receive, and then this is going to create as well a put away. Let me show you my put away in this case. So after I have received my documents, in the advanced warehouse functionality, the idea is that we are going to divide my warehouse into different areas and bins, and the reports and everything else accordingly will be having those additional functions. Okay, not like in the previous one where I just see that I have received items, but they are just there and nothing else. Okay, in this case, within my WMS warehouse, I'm going to be able to see, okay, in which bin you have already specific items. Okay, that will be maybe the most important idea. So for you to understand, in this case, in the WMS warehouse, and I forgot to mention that you as well can customize your own screen. Okay, like I'm doing now. You are not going to need a programmer to include into your reports additional columns and information. So I have the song code. I can drag it to any given area that I desire, right? And that will be it. You are going to be able to customize, and I want to make some fields to disappear. Remove, right? And I'm customizing my own screen. I haven't called any programmer. This will be super good for me. And when I finish, right, if you like your design, you can click on done. Otherwise, clear personalization takes me to the initial default state. So you don't have to worry about it. So I can see there, well, there are a lot of different fields that are related to my WMS functionality. What it is just basically minimum and maximum quantity. You can enable that. If you want to go super specific into WMS, you would, the last step is not only having bins and things like that, but to even have capacities, all right? Capacities, what would be the maximum amount of inventory that I could handle or can actually receive in any given bin, okay? So this is basically WMS. Allocation code, which is a warehouse, a zone, okay? And every zone has different bins, where currently I have different type of items. So apart from this, I will be talking about whenever I receive, okay, I will be then opening my put away. What is a put away? What information does the handheld is going to see? Okay, first of all, I'm going to have a card to create a put away. And what is this? Okay, just as an example, this is advanced warehouse functionality. Once again, you remember that I have my Heinekens, okay? I have received them, and look at what they are. This is telling me, hey, you have one purchase order for one item that in the handheld somebody actually received. Look at the picture as well. We can make this picture to be seen in the handheld just to verify that this is the correct item if necessary. That's what I'm doing, making a review, answering to my manager. What are you doing? What are you receiving? Well, I have some Heinekens. Look at the picture. They are currently in the receiving zone, and currently I have different amounts or quantities, okay, of this single item in this area. Where should I put these items? Okay, where? So we have instructions to take, okay, from the receiving zone and place these items in another bin. So I could say that, well, normally the idea here is that I will be changing, well, maybe in this case, from the reception, I'm receiving instructions, okay, well, to place these items in the bulk zone in one of the shelves, bulk 01 and the level or where it belongs, this code and the quantity. This is actually done through the handheld that I show you. This is advanced warehousing, just to give you a simple insight of what this is. And then in the end, all these instructions are actually sent in real time to the handheld. Like I did already, the handheld is updating a real-time information about the inventory that you move here and there to then be reviewed in Business Central in real time. Plus, the handhelds as well, like my smartphone is just very basic device to actually do this type of work. But if you really want, well, you could purchase your own handhelds that have laser, that have a physical keyboard, that have a laser that can read a barcode from 2 meters or even more, some of them, right? And will have a hard case. So if you drop it or if it just falls, well, it's not going to break like my smartphone. Anyway, if you want these applications, maybe for managers, we could use, yes, smartphones or tablets just to verify information. It's not a problem. Okay. So by following these instructions, in this case, let's say that the handheld did this work and we just register. So for the reception in a WMS warehouse, I have, oh, maybe this is this needs to be processed. Oh, sorry, I forgot this. I'm gonna make the work that the handheld should be doing by inputting some quantities, right? That I'm just actually counting and I'm moving at the same time. So with this, well, 2 steps are I'm showing the reception and actually put away as well this item in some specific bins that I actually need, okay? And Business Central, we can make Business Central to tell you where to put, where to put things away, or just make it free or actually be fixed, okay? Configure one specific or a set of bins to specific items. So with this in mind, then my warehouse activities are changing, right? It is not complicated, but it's necessary then to go and then create more activities, not only receiving in the actual simple purchase order, but here I have enabled some additional activities. What I did today is require receipt is enabled. So I receive through the handheld and then require put away. Tell me where to put away the items in a specific shelf and take it from the reception zone and put them in the, let's call it stock zone. Okay. In this case, my bulk area. And then we have others, right? Sorry. And then similarly, but just to take items from these areas where I have put away, well, for this, when I sell something, I will require to do a shipment and to do a picking, okay? So then through the handheld and similarly to the process that I did today, but to make an outbound transaction, we will be needed to connect handhelds. We will need to input the layout of your warehouse in Business Central, right? Understand how many people work there to provide them handhelds. And with that, they will be connected in real time, operating in their handhelds to then update the information here in the advanced warehouse functionality that I'm just presenting. And then we have other variations, of course, yes, because, well, in the basic warehousing, you could do a count, but just to mention, when you start counting, and this is counting, so let me just very fast go. We could count in basic warehouse, but the thing is that, well, we are going to ask to Business Central, tell me how many items I have currently, okay? And for that, we just click on calculate inventory function. And the idea is that, well, items that are currently in my main warehouse, this is basic warehousing, okay? I'm gonna click on okay. And this is going to immediately tell me how many items I have. Here I can see that, for instance, this item, okay? Or this first line in the main warehouse, currently I have 238 items, but somebody was actually scanning those items, or if you want to work in the old-fashioned way with our handhelds, you can do so. But the idea here is that you will be then working with actual reports that you print, okay? This is basic warehouse as well. You still continue to print your reports to know what to do with your inventory, in this case, counting, okay? And well, quantity physical inventory, you need to provide, since we don't have a handheld in basic warehousing, we could, okay, don't worry about it. But if you want, okay, if you don't have it because this is a very small warehouse, we continue to work with the old-fashioned way, okay, where we would be printing their reports. In the basic warehouse, while we are counting, we cannot just continue move items, nor sell, nor do anything, okay? It's frozen for the moment we are counting, and that's basic warehouse. And with the advancing functionality with the WMS, we don't necessarily need to stop selling or transferring items, since everything will be dynamic. Your counting process in the WMS, similarly to this, where we have a field where we just receive the quantity calculated by the system, telling me how many units I have, and then we come and input the quantity we count within the physical inventory column. Voila, okay? Of course, doing this for thousands of items is going to take me a few days. We know that, okay? But, well, I'm just showing you the differences. With basic warehouse, we just actually print still reports. And with advanced warehouse, we normally use the handhelds, okay? And with zones and bins and everything else, right? So hopefully this is just giving you some insights of the modules that we have. Of course, well, talking about purchase inventory, a little bit about the sales with CRM, and your finances process, where we have bank accounts, budgets, and other ideas. Actually, the functionality is so big, I don't have time to present it all. But if you want, any of these has like ringy, like, hey, maybe this functionality will be something that I will be using, I want to learn more or something like that. We have plenty of different webinars that are, of course, through the year, I'm going to be as well showing you. The idea is that these webinars help us to then have some ideas, training, well, explore the system, and well, with specific questions as well, we, of course, come back with answering any of them. Okay. So now I have one, please send me your questions. We are finishing, okay? And just showing what is Business Central, what it does, how it looks, okay? And well, this is then, how do I block the budget of each department involved in each order? Okay, very, very good question, right? Because the idea sometimes is that we don't want to go above, right, the budget when it comes to purchase, and then do more expenses that or more than the allowed one, okay? And this is a good and bad. The standard functionality is going to still allow us to continue purchase, even if you, for instance, budget one GL account for, I don't know, a miscellaneous expenses, office expenses. And what happens if you go above what you have budgeted? It's not going to stop anybody from purchasing, but doing a customization to do so, and we have done it in the past. I personally have done that customization, meaning that I will be adding some code with my programmer to make some changes in the standard functionality for you to do, for Business Central to do what you need. Okay, so I have actually customized the budget with the purchases. So whenever it sees, well, one specific GL account is going to verify the amounts that you have budget to never go, or at least show a warning to the purchaser, or sending an approval workflow. Okay, that's easy to do for me, and it's not expensive, maybe a few hours only, not expensive at all. And we could actually make your budgets limit then the purchasing amount or quantity of items that you should actually allow to have. Regarding to budgets, just to mention and to finish, if you somebody have additional questions, please let me know. Okay, please. For your purchases, we have special budgets for you. Similarly to what we did with the Excel import export. So, but maybe this is office. Yeah, let's just follow with the same example. I have a category of items. So this will be office, non-inventory. This will be staplers, paper, pens, and things like that. Okay. So within this, I will be creating, let's say, my department. Okay. And then why not for the purchaser code? So I will be now, this means that I will be having a budget, okay, by the actual department that you desire and somebody that is purchasing, okay, if you have people responsible, that's just an idea, right? Don't make this let's just not write this in stone. So the purchase order budget actually has some basic components to make you have what will be basically what you want to budget, okay? I want to, first of all, show the value for the cost, how you want to then budget this, or maybe the quantity, okay? It's up to you how you want it, okay? It's not a problem. And well, some of you, when you do actual budgets, you might even desire to go even by week or month, typically, okay? So you desire this type of a periodicity. And let's say that I want to do a filter, not by vendor. Well, it could be by vendor, okay, by date, okay, and by my department. So somebody in the administration department is going to, of course, purchase all the office items that they need. So let's just do a budget for this department only, right? And from here, we'll use the import, export that we use with Excel, correct? But the idea is that you are going to be, for your purchasing process, you're going to take a look at the item codes. I don't know if this is exactly what you will be doing, and you can actually just budget the quantities or the cost according to how you actually budget. But this is just to mention, based on the actual quantity of, look at this, the item code, okay? So let's say that, yes, I have a high quality, I don't know what it is, from China, item 1014. And how do we do it normally? Well, why not to say, okay, for this specific week, you can purchase at most 5, or at most you can spend for this item, only spend $100. So the idea is that if you want, okay, we can link your budgets to items, okay? The previous budget that I showed you, which is financial, is only for amounts and is only for GL accounts, let's say, related to expenses. With the purchase account, we are going to be able to do exactly the same, but link that to the actual items that you actually want to budget. And well, actually, we have implemented budgets, both of them, right? And they will be triggered or give you a warning or then forbidden an actual purchase when then, well, the actual criteria is met. Okay, that's why I'm showing you some functions, how the purchases a budget works. If you want to then budget all for the items, actually, this would be what we call the purchase budget. If you only want to purchase and make a budget by amount, that will be another budget that we call financial or GL budget. Okay, just to answer that part of those type of questions. Well, I have one last question. Just let me give you one last answer, and then that will be the last one, guys. So we are just finishing for now. Okay, and that question has got to do with the actual licenses. Okay, and for the licenses, let me just show you one of the reports that I have. This is one learning site that I would recommend to use. We call the Learn Microsoft. Look for this one in internet, actually. This is going to, I'm going to give you the link in a moment, right? So you can actually as well see it. Licenses. Licensing requirements. The idea is that we have some different type of licenses. The first one is essential. Okay, so you can tell me how many users you want to use. Sorry, and then we have essentials and premium. We as well. Whenever we work with the Business Central, you need to tell us how many people need to actually have access. Okay, to Business Central. And the salespeople is going to ask you about, hey, but do you need an essential or a premium license? How to decide this part is quite easy. The thing is that the Central Premium license has basically manufacturing and another module that we call service management. I didn't have time to present them, okay, today, but they are very big modules. Manufacturing maybe is the most complicated, so to speak, and large module that we have. And service management is only to follow up sales orders, an item that you have received already, to provide them some follow up, to maybe follow up warranties, technical services, meaning that tech can maybe do some maintenance or repairs to items that you have already sold. And that's why we follow up by tickets, some services with our technicians to visit a customer site, okay, that will maintenance or repairs. That's service management. As well, if you want to use manufacturing or service management, you will need to tell I want a premium license. How many users? Well, that's something that we will need to review. And essentials is actually more focused on what I have been showing today: financial, customer, sales, and relationship. Project management is another module that helped me actually to standardize by different phases the project management module. Let's talk about a construction, okay? First phase, foundation. Second phase, provide the items. Third phase, the electrical part and things like that, right? With different phases, different people, budget, cost, and other ideas. That's a project management. Supply chain and warehouse management and human resources. Now, between us, human resources actually is not a good module because the payroll, okay, on every country is super different, with different laws, with different normative. Well, so the human resource management is only to upload your employees and connect it to AP, okay, being able to pay to those vendors that are as well our employees, right? So, but it's just very basic. So this is how then we separate essentials from premium. And the last one is team members. Many of you might be asking, hey, I need a lot of people that has access to Business Central, but just to review information. Let's say you're going to have an audit, okay, an audit from the accounting department. You could purchase a team member a license that is super cheap, so you can help people to provide access to only see information, okay? Also, this license, if you have a sales team, they help them to create, edit, or delete quotations, okay? Quotations. And for your projects, well, they create timesheets, okay? And something that we call Power Up, that will be for another webinar. But nowadays, with these technologies, just to finish today, we are going to be able to create Android apps, okay? Maybe let's create an app in it so my team can see the items in the smartphones. Okay, so something I'm just thinking. So why not you create an app to consume information from Business Central and in Android? Well, being able to then show my reports or documents or something, right? That maybe that will be helping me then to create a specific functionality in Android to make something, to approve expenses, or to add, since in Android we can use GPS, well, maybe you can approve the expense if the employee is in the actual location. Okay, that's Power Apps. Helps me to create applications for my Business Central environment. So that will be it for today. Thanks a lot for your time, for the patience. If you already knew Business Central, well, this was introduction just to see more, just to see the technology, understand some the look and feel of how you will be working. Okay. So thank you very much, and then see you next week. Like every Thursday, we are gonna continue with our Business Central webinars to check specific functionality. We're gonna begin the first month with finance, and then we're gonna go with operations and so forth. Okay, so thank you very much for your time, and then see you next time.